Thank you for joining me once again. This is my update for the 27th of October 2025. We have a major breaking news. Well, not so major breaking news because this is something that happened every other day, but we're going to talk about it. NATO attacked Russia, deep inside Russia, with a wave of drones late last night and the early hours of this morning. And a lot of explosions were reported across Moscow region and across a few oblasts inside Russian Federation. Now, let me clarify the reason why I would continue to say NATO from this point. It is the fact that most of the weapons that was used to launch this attack on Russian Federation are the weapons operated by NATO forces. Ukrainian forces do not operate some of these weapons. They are not trained. Even if they are trained, the United States would not allow Ukrainian forces have access to their satellite system. That is the reason why I said NATO attacked deep inside Russia alongside the Ukrainian forces in the early hours of this morning. Most of the drones that was launched were heading toward Moscow, the capital of Ukraine. But the Russian Ministry of Defense claimed they intercepted every single one of those ones going toward the capital, but a few went through. They didn't tell us what those few hit. They didn't tell us what those few attacked. They just said a few went through. No video evidence has been provided. No picture evidence has been provided, not by Russia or by Ukraine government themselves. But from the words of mouth, from the words of Russian citizens on the ground, they claimed a lot of explosions were heard this morning after drones were hitting or being intercepted or were dropping, whichever one it is. The Russian Ministry of Defense said 193 drones in total were intercepted by Russian air defense system this morning, including 40 that was heading toward Moscow Oblast. The Ministry of Defense also said 34 other drones were actually going deep inside the Moscow capital, but they managed to intercept all of them. In Kursk region of Russia, fire broke out near the power substation in the city of Rilsk, if I called it right, after, the local authority claimed the building was hit by a drone. But for me, I believe and suspect NATO were trying to hit that substation, that power substation. But obviously, the drone would have been intercepted and it hit that civilian building. That is my own take on this. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm just trying to say what I believe or suspect happened in that region. Now, the major attack and the major hit took place in the Belgorod region of Russia, the city that borders between Ukraine and Russia. And the dam, the water reserve dam, was heavily and badly damaged with HIMARS system, HIMARS missiles and rockets. Now you see the reason why I said NATO was behind those attacks that took place last night and this morning against Russian Federation. When it comes to the drone part, we know Ukraine does have access to flying drones, but certain weapons are not operated by Ukraine. They are operated by NATO forces on the ground. For example, the HIMARS system, like I just said, the dam was badly and heavily damaged, and the region is now being evacuated completely because of the fear of flooding. They claim the water, the reservoir of that dam is beginning to leak, and they are scared once it goes out, the city is going to flood. So Russia is evacuating some part of Belgorod region as we speak. The dam will take time to repair, obviously, and it is going to be a major repair for the dam to get back to its full capacity. That is going to lead to water shortage in the Belgorod region of Russia. Now, the funny thing about this attack that took place is that Ukrainian authorities forget that if that dam goes off, if it gives way and the water flood, it is going toward the Volsank region of Ukraine, just the city next to Belgorod. Or maybe perhaps the Ukrainian authority deliberately want to flood the dam or want to blow the dam up to cause a massive flood so that it can stop Russian offensive in that region. Because at the moment, Russia had captured about 98%. Let's say about, I won't say 100% because there's still some resistance from certain buildings and certain areas within the Volsank region of Ukraine. Maybe the government of Ukraine want to flood that area just to slow the Russian down, but it doesn't make any sense because if it slows the Russian down, it will definitely slow the Ukrainian down. Nobody moves. Everybody will be stand still. And in a city where Russia is already controlling over 96%, what is the point of trying to slow them down? They are already there. They are not going anywhere. So maybe, just maybe, I'm just trying to think why the Ukrainian government would want to blow up a dam that would not give them any advantage in any way. Maybe they probably have their own reason for trying to blow up that dam. Maybe not. Maybe they're just freestyling. Who knows? But one thing I can tell you is the Russian retaliation is loading. Sooner than later, Russia is going to retaliate to this strike that was launched today. And then we haven't seen anything or heard anything from the Western news about this strike that was launched. They won't talk about it because if it is from one side to another side, it's okay. But when Russia retaliates, wait for it. You will soon hear. You will say I told you. But what do you guys think? It is one for Ukraine today. Let's wait to see what Russia gives back. Thank you for watching and have a great day.